Hello everyone and welcome back to Move with Izzy. Today we've got a workout on the mat, so we're switching it up. We're off the reformer today. All you're going to need is your mat and your beautiful, amazing body, and we're going to jump into it. Let's start off with a few mindful breaths. So one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. We take a nice deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Let's go for one more, breathing in nice and deep through the nose and out through the mouth. As you exhale, let's bring ourselves forwards into our 4-point kneel position. And we're going to start off with our thread the needle stretch. Today, just with that hand behind the head, we're going to start to rotate that elbow up towards the sky there, and then tap that elbow down towards our mat. Now, this is a really great exercise to start to work on our spinal rotation here, particularly in our thoracic spine, so the upper part of our spine. Really trying to rotate that elbow down towards the mat and then back up towards the sky. Bring the gaze up with you there. Beautiful. Last one on that side. We're going to switch over to the other side. So elbow comes down towards the mat and we rotate all the way up here. If you'd like to use your breath work, exhale as we open up. Inhale as we close back down. Just starting off, finding that movement there in our spines. Let's go for that last one there. Nice and big, we open it all the way up, bring the gaze up, and then we release. We're going to move into a bit of glute work now. We're going to start with some kickbacks here. So really set up that spine nicely, lifting the chest, lifting the belly, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Let's start with that left toe. We're going to reach that left leg away, just dragging that big toe along the ground, and then bend that knee back in. Now we're just starting with the leg down here, so we can really make sure we're keeping our hips and our shoulders nice and square, nice and steady. Once you feel like you can maintain that posture, we can start to add in our leg lift. So we reach that leg out and away, we start to hover it up, squeezing that glute, and then we bend that knee back in. So we reach it away, we squeeze it up, and then we bend it back in. Still trying to maintain that lift in the chest, that length in our spines. Something really common here that I see going a little bit askew is that we start to arch through our back. So really make sure that lower back is nice and long here. Now to add on for those glutes, each time you lift up, can we start to add a pulse? So we reach that leg up and away, we start to pulse through that glute, then we bend that knee back in. So we reach it away, we start to find that pulse. That's going to add a little bit of extra time under tension, a little bit of extra spice. We reach it up, a little pulse, then we bend it back in. Beautiful, looking really good. Maybe use that exhale breath as we reach away, that inhale breath as that knee comes back in here, keeping that spine long. Beautiful. We're going to come into our last one here, then we're going to switch it up for a bit of a plank combo. Let's go for our last one. Can we go for 3 pulses for me? 2, 3. Keep that leg long. We tuck the toes. Can we bring the other knee up to chest? Little plank pike. We lower that other knee down. We go for 3 more pulses and then we bend it back in. So we reach that leg away, 3 pulses. We tuck those left toes, right knee to chest. We lower back down, 3 more pulses with that left leg, then we bend it back in. So alternating our 3 pulses, our little plank pike there, and then 3 more pulses before we close it back in. As you go for your plank pike, we also want to add in a little bit of spinal flexion. So we want to round through our back there just to add on a bit more mobility for our spine. So tuck that knee in, tuck that head in as we go for that lift up. Then go back to finding that length in your spine as you go for your pulses for me. Beautiful. Keep it going. Keep working through those pulses, really starting to feel that squeeze in the back of the hip there, starting to feel that warmth in the back of the hip. Really aiming to stay lifted through that chest here as well, particularly as we transfer that weight into the hands there and go for our pike. Nice work. That's our last one there. We're going to hold it up on our next one. Beautiful. Can we reach it away? We've got our 3 pulses. On this next one, we're going to hold it up, knee tucks in. Can we reach it out? Find our plank. We bring it all the way back in. So a bit of a 3-point plank there. We reach away. We bend that knee back into chest, really using that breath work. Exhale on the way out. Inhale as that knee tucks back in. Try and stay nice and lifted through that chest, lifting up and out of those shoulders for me. Let's hold it there for that last one. Really finding that lift, really finding that length. I was burning here. We're just here for another 5. Stay nice and strong for 3. For 2 and 1, lower it down. Beautiful work. We're going to keep the spice going for our glutes and target the outside of our hips now. So let's lower that right elbow down. We're going to work through our fire hydrants there. So right elbow's down on our mat. Our left leg is opening up into that fire hydrant. We close it back in. Beautiful. So really, again, staying lifted through the chest, and this time sending a little bit more love to the outside of our hips. So each time you open up there, we should feel a little squeeze in the outside of both our top hip and our supporting hip here. As you open as well with this one, you'll notice that your hips will rotate up and out sideways just a bit there. That is a-okay with this one. It's going to actually help us get the burn. Nice. Now to add on, we're going to add on that gorgeous leg extension there. So next time you open, hold it long. We're going to reach that leg out and away. We bend it back in and we close it down. So we open up, hold that rotation. We reach our leg away. We bend it back in and we close it down. Keep it going. Finding a nice rhythm here, maybe using your breath to help you if that works for your body here, or just focusing in on coordinating the movements first, whatever works for your body. Now, if you do want a little bit more spice, we can also add our pulse in each time that leg goes long. So we reach it out. Can we go for a little pulse? Up an inch, down an inch. We bring it back in and we close that leg down. So adding on that pulse is again going to increase that time under tension, increase the work for the outside of those hips there. Keep it going. Try and maintain that rotation in the top leg. So keep that knee turned out as much as possible as you reach it long and as you go for that pulse there. Really strong. Keep it going. Definitely starting to feel the heat now. Maybe do a little check-in on that form. Is that chest still lifted? Let's go for our last one like this. We're going to hold it up and just go for that bend and stretch out and in. On that next one, reach it long. Can that knee bend all the way in? We press it away. We bend it in. We press it away. So holding that leg hovered, can you hold that turn out in your hips, that turn out in your knees for me? Keep it going. Start to feel the spice here. We're just here for another 5. We're going to hold it long. We're going to finish off with our pulses. Almost there. Meet me with that leg nice and long in 3, in 2. Let's go for those pulses for 1. I really like to flex the foot here. Get really nice and deep into those glutes. Keep it going. Can you bring that leg slightly higher? Can you turn those toes out to the side for me? Last 5 here. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's find a little stretch out, a little child's pose. Okay, the legs are going to get a little rest now and we're going to move into some upper body work. So just find a comfortable kneeling position. From here, we're going to join our palms together and then squeeze our elbows together here as well. Now, we're not using our weights here, so we have to create our own resistance with our own bodies. So really squeeze those palms together, really squeeze those elbows in. Once you've got that position going, we're going to start to pulse those hands up and lower them back down. We pulse them up and we lower them back down. The whole time really trying to maintain that nice position through our spines here as well. So maintain that length through the back of the body, keep that rib cage closed. I also like to have a little tip forwards in my body here as well. So I'm on a little bit of a diagonal. That's just going to add a little bit more resistance with gravity. Beautiful. So let's start to add on a little bit of a cactus arm. We squeeze it in, we go for our pulse. Then we're going to open out, squeeze those shoulder blades together. We squeeze those palms together, we work through our pulse, open those arms wide, we squeeze our shoulder blades. Nice. Keep that little rhythm going. Finding that squeeze as we go for that pulse, creating your own resistance once again, and then really squeezing those shoulder blades together as we open out to the sides there. Really starting to work through our rotator cuff here, start to work through the front and the back of our shoulders. If you want more, maybe you start to go for a double pulse with those arms. So we pulse it up twice if you want that little bit more, and then open out and in. into that cactus position. Beautiful. So squeeze it in, double pulse, keep that elbow squeezing in, keep those palms squeezing in, then open out, find that cactus position. Keep this energy going. You should be feeling the heat by now in those shoulders. Keep breathing through it. Is that rib cage still closed? Or are we starting to sag through that lower back there? Staying nice and strong. Let's go for another 3. We're going to close it in, finish off with our pulses in 2. On that next one, just those pulses, really press those palms together, press those elbows together, keep it going, working through that pulse. Can you bring it that little bit higher? Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Let's continue working through the back of the body now. Arms go long. Can we sweep them back behind us? Squeeze the shoulder blades, then sweep them forwards. We squeeze them back, squeeze the shoulder blades, then sweep them forwards. Keep that lifted sensation through our spine. And if you want a little bit more, we can start to hover those hips up, just challenging our stability here a little bit more. We're going to keep those arms going just as they were. We sweep them back, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then reach them forwards. Maybe using that exhale as you sweep it back, inhale as you reach it forwards. We're going to go for 1 more like this. Then we're going to start to add a wave behind us. So squeeze it back, hold. Can we open those arms out an inch, in an inch, and then lower them back through center there? So we sweep it back, hold that squeeze of the shoulder blades, little wave out and in, and then we reach it forwards. This is again increasing that time under tension, increasing the amount of time we're holding that squeeze for those shoulder blades. So really training our postural muscles here. We sweep it back, hold that squeeze, open out and in, we sweep it forwards, keep it up. We're going to go just for 3 more like this. Then we're going to find our waves behind us in 2. On your next one, go just for that wave for me. So we're holding those arms back, just opening those arms out and in, out and in, almost like you're squeezing those thumbs together behind your body each time. Keep those shoulder blades squeezed. We've got 2. We're going to pulse those hands to the sky. On your next one, keep those hands nice and lifted. Pulse those palms back behind you. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Bring it down. A little stretch out there, a little roll out of those shoulders. Alrighty, we're going to come and find our high kneel now and really tuck our hips under for some reverse Nordics. Now with this one, it's better to start small. So just go for a small hinge back and then squeeze back up. These are harder than they seem, so definitely small is best until you've got the hang of it. To really make sure you're targeting the right muscles, which is your quad muscles or the muscles at the front of your thigh, really try and keep those hips tucked under and find length through the front of your hips there to make sure we're targeting those quads. Once you've got a hang of the legs, let's add on some arms. So we're going to do a little bit of a rotation, just starting by bending one elbow back, looking towards that elbow, and then squeezing back up. Maybe you start to use the exhale breath on the way down, the inhale breath on the way back up there, starting to feel that spice. Nice here. Once you're feeling a bit more confident, you can go a bit lower, but really make sure you've got those cores switched on so you're not just arching through your back here. If you're wanting to switch up the arms, you can go for a long arm sweep as I'm showing here. So sweeping those fingertips back, follow those fingertips with your gaze, and then sweep it back forwards for me. Keep that breath work going, so using that exhale on the way back, that inhale on the way back up here. Nice work. Let's go for 2 more. Then we're going to hold it all the way back, hopefully feeling the spice in the back of those, or in the front of those thighs, sorry. Nice work. On our next one, can we hinge it back, hold it there, just those arms. We're just going for that rotation there. So those legs are nice and still, they're static. They're holding that burn there. Just our upper body is going for that rotation, working through those obliques, working through that core here as well. Let's go for 3. We're going to hold it strong here for 2. And last 1. Can we bring it all the way back up? Good job, everyone. Tap out the front of those legs. Nice and fiery one there. All right, we're going to go straight back to our second side of our glutes now. So bring yourself back into that nice 4-point kneel position, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, lifting that chest up, lifting that belly button up. We're onto the right leg now, so let's just start with that lowered leg. We're going to reach that right leg away, dragging that big toe along the ground, and then bend it back in. Again, just checking in that those hips and those shoulders are nice and even. Once you've got that stability through your spine, maybe you start to add your leg lift in. So we reach away, we start to squeeze that glute, hover the leg, and then we bend that knee back in here. The whole time here, once again, trying to maintain that lift in the chest. Maybe you imagine pressing your mat away or pressing into the ground with your palms just to help support those shoulders. To add on that little bit more spice for the glutes, maybe we also add our pulse. So we reach away, can we go for that pulse of those glutes before we bend it back in there. So we reach it away, we go for that pulse, then we bend it back in. Again, really thinking about that heat coming into the back of that top hip. So right behind that top hip there, into our glute max muscle with this one. Really strong, using that exhale on the way out. This is going to be our last one here. We're going to switch that pike combination on our next one. We go for 3 of our pulses. We tuck those toes. Can we lift that opposite knee, find our pike? We lower down 3 more pulses. Then we bend it back in. So we reach away, we've got our 3 pulses with that right leg. We tuck those right toes, left knee comes to chest. We lower down, right leg goes for 3 more pulses. We bend it back in. So working through those pulses to add on that time under tension for the glutes, and then working on that pike to start to say hello to our spinal flexion, as well as a little hello to our core as well. So keep working through those pulses, keep working through those tucks. Again, think about the belly button initiating that tuck up each time for me, that little pike up. Really think about that belly button lifting towards the sky for me, drawing that body up right from its core, right from its center, before we control it back down and work through those pulses. We're not here for much longer. We've just got 2 more before we're meeting in that plank. Keep it going, scooping up from that core. Let's go for our last one on this next one. So we reach that leg away. We've got our 3 pulses for the last time there. We're going to scoop it up, tuck those toes, hold that plank. From there, that right leg reaches out. We find that 3-point plank. Then we tuck that right knee back into our chest. We reach it out. We hold it long. We tuck it all the way in. Keep this going. You are so strong here. This is your last 4. Hold it nice and long for me in that plank in 3. In 2, reach it all the way out for 1. Can you find that strength there? Keep lifting through that chest. Stay supported through those shoulders, reaching through those legs. Stay nice and long. Keep breathing through it. We're just here. Don't hold that breath for 4. This is your final 3, 2, and lower it down for 1. Super good. I was definitely shaking there. We're going to go straight into our fire hydrant. So this time left elbow comes down to our mat and that right knee is opening out to the side and bending it back in. So we open it all the way out. We bend it back in. Really try and think about the knee being the highest point here. So that knee wants to open all the way out to the side. Keep it rotating out before it bends back in. We can also add on that leg extension for a little bit more. So we open out, our leg reaches out, we bend it back in, and we close it together. So we open our fire hydrant, reach our leg long, we bend it back in and close those knees together. Again, remembering that this is going to work both the top hip and that underneath stabilizing hip as well here. So feel the burn on both hips there. If you do want a little bit more for that top hip, maybe on your next one we start to add in our pulse as well. So we open out, hold that leg long, start to go for that little pulse up, and then we bring it all the way back in. So each time that leg extends out long, we work through that little pulse up an inch, down an inch, then we control it all the way back in. You should definitely be feeling the spice now in that top hip and in that supporting hip as well. Keep it going for me, using that exhale on the way out, inhale on the way back in. Just another 3 like this. Keep it going. We're going to hold it out in 2, go just for that bend and stretch out and in. On your next one, hold that leg long for me, hold it hovered. We're going to bend it in and press it away. We bend it in and we press it away. Keep this going. So stay nice and lifted through that chest. Just that back leg is bending in and out here. Can you make sure that back knee is staying rotated out? So it's staying turned out. Those hips are staying turned out for me as well. You can do this. Keep pushing through it. Last little bit of glutes for today's class. Last 3. We're going to hold that leg long, finish off with our pulse in 2. On our next one, just that pulse for me. Reach that leg long. Maybe you flex that foot, turn that leg out, keep that pulse going. Can you lift it up that little bit more for me? Last 3, 2, and 1. Find that child's pose. Bring it down. Take a little second to stretch it out. Now to finish off class, we're going to go for a bit of a core challenge just to make sure we're nice and warm and nice and toasty to finish off. So flip yourselves around and just take a nice little roll down onto your backs there. We're going to meet with those feet planted on the ground, our hands just resting behind our head there. Let's start off with our normal crunch. So we're going to exhale, lift that chest up. Inhale, we lower it back down. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we lower. Using that exhale is really going to help us connect a little bit deeper into some of those deeper core muscles. We can also think about pulling up through that pelvic floor and closing through our rib cage each time we crunch here for a better connection. All right, exhale up. Inhale back down. Let's start to add rotation as you lift. So next time you lift up, can we twist towards one side? We lower back down through center. We twist through the other side, lower back down towards center. So 1 rotation per repetition for me. So alternating sides as well here. Nice work. Keep that rotation going. Each time you twist, think about the opposite shoulder blade lifting up and off your mat there. So getting nice and high, nice and lifted to work those obliques for me. If this feels good for you, stick with this. Otherwise, we're going to add a leg to tabletop. Opposite knee to opposite elbow. Then we're going to hold that crunch and go for 1 toe tap as well for me. So let's go again on the other side. We crunch up knee to elbow. Hold that crunch. We tap the toe down. We float it back up. Then we lower down through center. So we're going to keep this going. Crunch it up. Go for 1 toe tap. And then control it back down through center here. Keep those core principles going of our core work as well. So using that exhale as you lift up, and then try and take that inhale as we reset back down here as well. Keep that opposite shoulder blade lifting up and off your mat here. And really trying to move that leg as 1 unit as we go for that tap down. So not just bending through the knee, tapping the whole leg down and the whole leg back up. If you want more, you can float the opposite leg to tabletop as well. So bringing those feet off the ground, but still going for that toe tap as you go for that rotation there. So we hold those legs in tabletop, we go for that toe tap, and then we lower back down. Looking good here, hopefully feeling the spice in your core. If you do want extra though, you can go for that double leg toe tap if that is for you. So lifting up, holding strong, going for that double leg toe tap. Now just be mindful with that double leg toe tap that we're not arching our lower back off the ground here. Really trying to make sure that lower back is nice and imprinted down on your mat. We're keeping that contact there as you go for your toe tap. If you can't keep that contact, just go for your single leg toe tap or just hold those legs in tabletop if that works better for your body here. This one does start to get a little bit spicy, so make sure as you fatigue, you're still checking in on your form. So we're really getting the most effective exercise here as possible. Really thinking about keeping those elbows out nice and wide, using that breath work, and keeping that lower back down on our mats here as well. In 5 seconds, we're just gonna hold that crunch through center and work our toe taps. So be ready to hold your crunch for me in 3, in 2, on your next one, lift up through center. We're just going to alternate through those single leg toe taps there. So tapping one toe down, then the other. Option to reach those arms long by your sides if that feels better for you. An extra option to extend those legs nice and long for a challenge here. Hugging that leg in and pulsing that leg in can also increase your range if that is for your body today. We are just here for our last 10. Then we're going to finish off with those feet to the sky. We're going to pulse those arms up in 4. In 3, be ready to hold those legs high. In 2, on your next one, legs reach to the sky, and we're going to pulse those hands up towards our ankles there. So getting that little bit higher each time, sending that spice straight to our core there. Those cores should be on fire here. This is just your last 5. You can do it. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug it in. Well done, everyone. Have just a second. Catch your breath there. Let maybe those knees rock from side to side just to start to slow down the body here. Stretch out through that spine, stretch out through those obliques. As you're cooling down here, maybe you choose just to slow down through the breath a little bit here. Really controlling those exhales and slowing them down to help slow down our heart rate here. To further that stretch through your spine, option to bring our top leg over, anchoring it down with the opposite arm. Take a nice big breath in and out here before you switch to the other side, evening up through the spine there. Using that breath just to slow down through the body and calm down through the mind. Let's take one last mindful breath, using this as a chance just to show some gratitude to our bodies and all the amazing things they have done in today's class. As you exhale, you can roll that spine back up, and that is all from me. Let me know how you liked a mat class for a change and how you found the voiceover. Thank you again, and see you next time.